And we're live. Welcome to Level Up, the real Level Up, the talk that takes you higher. I am Pat Nash, your guest host for today, and I'm so excited to be here. I know some people are looking like, what is she doing on here? That's because the real Level Up, keep it locked in, has a special show for you today, and I'm super excited to be here. I'm here for it. So we're going to get into this. I know you guys have been looking at the title and the guest for today. He's very special to me. And for those of you who don't know him, I get the honor of introducing him. So I'm going to bring him up and let you see who he is. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Well, hello there.
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
I'm doing well. This is my brother, you guys. I'm so excited to be here. I told him I was going to let everybody know this is Dallas Frazier. I know him and love him by Tony D. I know him by both names. And so he is here today, and I'm super excited that I get to highlight an area of your expertise. So I'm excited. I have been calm in front of you, but I'm really excited to expose people to the Tony D and to learn, dig a little deeper about how you got the name, where you've been, what you've been doing. So I'm super excited, and we're going to dive in. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds great. I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So you guys, what I love about the Real Level Up, it's a show that highlights what they call ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Well, I don't happen to see him as an ordinary person. He is extraordinary. And so most people know him by Dallas Frazier. And I kept saying, where did the name Tony D came from? Because it sticks so well. Can you tell them, without me trying to tell your story, how you got the name Tony D, first of all?
Well, I was Dallas Frazier on the radio when I really originally started. And then I took a break when my children were born. And when I came back, I said, I want to rebrand myself. So I just took the Tony from my middle name, Anthony, and took the D from my first name, Dallas, and put it together and came up with Tony D, because some people used to call me Tony because my dad's name is Dallas too. So if they would call Dallas, both of us would be like, what, So and now everybody just calls me Tony D, and it's actually my name. It's just a derivative of my government name.
Just kind of switched it up a little bit. I love it. I love the creativity. And thank you, Grace. And thanking everybody for joining us right here. It's an exciting show. Yeah, thank you everyone for jumping on. Please like and share today, because you're going to learn a little bit. You can't learn everything about somebody in a couple hours, but you're going to get some insight into the man, the myth, the artist. And I'm excited. I'm here for it. So, hey, Mary, our diamond's in the house. So, I'm going to jump right in here. I found out some things about you that I didn't know. Just, people know you. They hear your music. I love your music, by the way. I'm a fan. So how did you get started? And when I looked over some information on you before I did this, I'm like, 2003, that's like 20 something years ago. And then 2004, I started adding up. I'm like, wow, that was over 20 years ago. So those numbers stuck out to me. So for over 20 years, you have been a national recording artist. And in 2003, I think you launched New Artist Profile. So, of course, I know all about New Artist Profile, but tell us about that, because I noticed that preceded you becoming a national recording artist. So tell us a little bit about New Artist Profile.
So I started in radio here in Augusta, Georgia at WAW 94.7 just by a golden opportunity of becoming an intern. I won't tell a long story, but I was an intern first at the station, and then they allowed me to sit in with the afternoon drive host, and then he would leave and not tell me he was leaving and leave me in the big chair, as we call it. And kind of developed radio from there. I always wanted to be in radio as a young child. I would make mixtapes and CDs. I'm dating myself, but I would make mixtapes and CDs like I was talking on the radio and give them to people, and everybody was like, "Man, you need to be on the radio." So, had a great opportunity to do that, and been doing it ever since. The New Artist Profile was a 30-minute segment called the New Artist Showcase, and which we highlighted local independent artists. And then it kind of morphed into a 1-hour broadcast and then a 2-hour broadcast. And then I switched the name from the New Artist Showcase to the New Artist Profile, branded it. I own it. Nobody can take it. And
I love that.
It's been, growing ever since. We are currently on 53 stations across the world. And it's an opportunity for independent artists to get their music on radio because they don't oftentimes get that opportunity. So I'm so excited that the show has grown into what it's grown into, and man, I'm going to keep on doing it until God says otherwise.
So, congratulations, by the way. I know very few people that brand as well as you do, and I love that you protect your brand. That's stuff that I had to learn in the last year, to protect your brand and trademark it or do whatever you have to do. But I want to say hi also. I think Carmen chimed in and said hello. You guys say hello to us so we can shout you out. But I want to also say, as you were talking about your transition, I noticed how the name changed from just introducing them to you're showcasing them now. You're highlighting them. And it came from a unique need, am I right, of them not having an outlet to really show up and show people who they are, so people will fall in love with their talent and start playing their music. So did that come about? Because, a lot of times we do things because we find it's hard to do. Did that come out of a need that you realized that you had as well?
Yes, I was bass player for a group here called For Christ. It's a group of gentlemen, 5 singers, and I was the bass player. And we did our first project, and we thought we could take it to local radio and get it played. And we found out that was not as easy as we thought. We had to go through a lot of processes. So many artists come in the industry and they don't understand what they have to do to get their music played and promoted and shared across the country. So we had to learn. We had to learn all the business. We made many mistakes, but one of the reasons for me developing the New Artist Profile was from that opportunity that we had to endure of being told, no, you can't have your music played on the station that we are in the city with, So that's why I'm so excited about the New Artist Profile, to be able to, educate the artists, tell them what they need to do, and have a platform for them to have their music played.
I love it. I love it. And also, hello, Tamara. I think Tamara said hello to everyone. So what I love, and you guys listen, you're going to get a lot of nuggets from this, because Tony, as Miss Angie says, is a very talented man. And then your voice is nice. I mean, the reason they said you should be on radio, you have a nice quality voice. And so you playing music is cool, but it's cool to be able to hear that voice sometimes. So I know a lot of times I hear it in rap and all of that, but I love music. I love live music. I'm a music lover. So when I hear your instrumental things, I'm just as excited. But it is cool to have that good quality voice to add to it as well. Mary said, yes, your voice is quality. So you have a lot of fans. I know. Thanks, you Mary. Already know that. You already know. That. So I'm going to go a little bit into what creates that, because there's a lot of artists out there and maybe they're not motivated to do what you do. And I heard you say that was in you all the time. You were making CDs and things like that. I know we're dating ourselves. I know what that is. And some young person is probably going, okay, yeah, these people are really ancient. But what motivates? Because right now, I would say not even just in the music world, there are people who have trouble following their dreams and getting behind or finding a group of people that will move with them in that way. what were some of your challenges in deciding to do this? Is everybody excited about you doing it, or did you have to come up on some hurdles to follow this dream that really blesses other people? Have you noticed that your dream usually blesses other people as well? But how about the people getting excited and getting behind you? Did that come real fast?
I didn't really have a lot of hurdles getting into radio. Um, uh, because it's an independent, it still is an independently owned station. It gives you more liberty to, get that opportunity to be on the air. So I didn't really have a lot of issues with being in radio and starting in radio. The issues came later on trying to syndicate the broadcast.
I was going to say, we're going to get back to that. See, I'm not used to jumping in this break, but we're going to get a chance to be blessed to hear a little bit of your music. So we're going to take a break and we'll come back and I have more questions for you. So let's do this.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
guys some tough love today. If you have a goal of wanting to lose weight, build muscle, build a booty, whatever it is, and you're not going to the gym or eating enough protein or moving your body enough, but you got to stay consistent with it. You can't just show up once in a while. If you want to lose weight, if you want to see that transformation by summertime and fit in the dress and fit in your jeans and feel hot and sexy, do the work.
Hey, this is Kimberly Howell with Angel Rings Music Presents. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
This is Kimberly Walker. Listen and watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, this is Deidre Goodlow, author of Seeds for the Soul. Level Up, a new talk show broadcasting to the world. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And we're back. Wow. So I have to tell you, I was over here jamming. My dad would say that is driving music.
Yeah. That's what I like. It's driving music.
Driving music. I don't know what that means, but I get the vibe. It's like it keeps your mind entertained. So you're not sleepy, you're in it. So if you're just coming back, you guys, you can go back and listen. That was titled Beautiful One, the first song we played on the break. And you know, my first thing is, okay. She said, love it. Why I wrote Hope After Divorce. Oh, this song is why she wrote Hope After Divorce. I think that's what she's saying, which is a book, I'm guessing, Miss Tamara. So what inspired this title? Because I'm hearing the music and of course I'm jamming, but when the title is Beautiful One, what inspired the title? Did the title come before the music? You know, people are wondering how that comes about. Or did you just get in it? And yes.
So on that exclusive project that's only available on Bandcamp, I tell why I did the songs and why I titled the songs. I always do my music first and then I put the titles after. And so I was listening to that final track and I said, man, this is a beautiful song. And so that's how I came up with it called Beautiful One, because I just thought the track was beautiful.
Okay. And that makes sense. But you know, when you're not a music writer, but I write, but I'm not a music writer, you wonder what comes first, the music or the title. And I think sometimes in me writing, like regular writing, not music, the same thing happens. You know what you want to talk about, but you don't know how to give it a title until it's almost practically done. And I think it's how does it make you feel is kind of how you title it. Does that make sense?
Right. Exactly. That's exactly.
So have you ever, I have to say this first, have you ever had a subject in your mind and say, this is so important to me, it hits me here, I've got to create some music for this, like the opposite way?
Yes, I wrote a song called Rest that Imelda actually sings about maybe 2-3 years ago. And I was at a point where I was just so busy. I was mentally tired, physically tired, emotionally tired, wasn't taking time to spend with God. Couldn't hear his voice, couldn't figure out what direction to go in. And the scripture said, cast all your cares on me. Right. Because I was going through a lot of stuff, worrying about this, concerned about that. And I just realized that I hadn't taken time to rest and spend time with God. So that song was it was a testimonial song. So yeah, that I had the title, I had everything, because I knew it was talking to me first, and I pray that as listeners here that they can identify with them being in the same situation, because sometimes we get so busy with life and we focus on the obstacles and challenges that we have to go through till we we ignore God's voice, we ignore wise counsel from our friends, because sometimes God brings people in your life. He doesn't always speak to you, like that, but he'll bring somebody in your life, and then we ignore them, and then we're wondering why we aren't getting any answers. And God's like, well, I just sent Sally Sue over there, you just kicked us to the curb. So that's where that song Rest come from. So yeah.
I can so appreciate that. As you were saying that, I was like, okay, let me write this down, because I cannot miss this point. You said you wrote rest because you were tired and you couldn't hear from God. What I love about that statement, a lot of us, and I'm going to add myself, I like to give my own testimony. A lot of us get so tired and so bogged down that we cannot hear properly because we're tired. It's almost like kids that are crying and acting a fool, and the parents be like, they just tired. They need to go lay down somewhere. We underestimate the power of rest. And I think that's even a scriptural thing, to rest in me, to take my rest, to lay down. I mean, I think about all these scriptures where he had to literally tell the prophet to go lay down and take a nap, get some rest so you can hear. So I love that. And I love that when you're spiritually grounded like that, when you don't know what to say, you go back to the one who says, any man lacks wisdom, let him ask.
Right. Exactly.
You gotta be hearing, you gotta be listening. So I do appreciate that. That was a big nugget, you guys. I don't know if you missed that, but if you did, in his testimony, he's like, a lot of times we ignore people that come to us with the answer. We even ignore God giving us the answer because we're tired and we're trying to do it in our own strength. That's what I heard from that. I don't know if I got.
No, you're on point. It's exactly yeah.
Yes, and then my sister's like, that's why music can assist with rest and connect with the divine. It can. I think about I think it was Saul that was vexed a lot, and he had to call David with music. I mean, the newly appointed king had music in him that calmed the one who was going out and he was coming in. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we underestimate the power of music. So
and I think we're in a place in the culture now where music is very important to our mental stability. I have not ever can I remember a time where so many people are dealing with anxiety, so many people are dealing with stress, especially young people, over being overwhelmed. And I listen to the music that is on regular radio nowadays, and it troubles me just listening, trying to listen to it, raising two young children, trying to listen to it to see what they are listening to. I can't stay on those channels too long, so I think about music of the 70s and 80s, when some songs are timeless, that whenever they come on, you automatically feel good. You automatically smile on your face. I like Earth, Wind, and Fire. How many times can we listen
Beverly
to September?
Maze.
How many times can we listen to Before I Let Go? How many times can we listen to I'll Take You There by the Staple Singers? Those songs, and I'm not saying they were perfect, those individuals who made the song, but it was I think the place and the time that they were creating these songs is such a different environment now. Music and music can determine your state of being. So when I'm creating a song, I always think about that, because I don't have a lot of lyrical songs. Most of my songs are instrumentals, but the instrumentation and the frequencies of music can really determine how your mood is going to be changed after you hear the song. So I think, man, we really need to focus on what we're putting in our ear gates,
That's powerful. I mean, people look at me crazy when I was like, that's why I don't watch the news. Well, how do you know what's going on? Because my spirit will let me know what I need to deal with. But I don't see a point in filling my spirit and my soul up with negativity that I can't do anything about. I'm not the ultimate person in charge of this whole thing that's going to make it work. I'm in charge of me and making sure I am in line. And a lot of that stuff I can't put in my spirit and continue to give positivity. So a lot of it I don't. I don't know about you. When you talked about music today, I've heard good beats and I'm just jamming to it. And then I'm stopping like, what did they just say?
What did they just say?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Same thing. I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
It messes
like,
it up for me. It's like,
it
what
does.
did they just say? Did they really say that?
Yeah.
Do they let them play this like that? I'm just amazed sometimes. So I even have to guard that at times. That's why I think I like old school so much. They may have said some stuff, but it's a little bit more subtle.
Exactly. A lot more subtle.
than what you're hearing now.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I just saw like a little clip of an interview with Sierra and her daughter. And someone asked her what is one of the favorite songs that her mom sings. And Sierra changed it and said another song that she does, right? And her daughter's like, no, you know, my favorite song is I Love the Way You Ride It. And she starts singing it, right? And she's like, oh my God. She's like, okay, first of all, she only heard it because she went to my concert. She went to a concert with me. Other than that, I would not have she would not have heard it. And I'm thinking about, but why put something out there, you know, that even your own kids, you don't want them singing it.
So I had a guest, and I can't remember his name, but I had a guest on the New Artist Profile one time, the radio side, and he shared with me why he changed his whole style of hip hop, because he was a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
And he got married and had kids, and he said he was ashamed to let his children hear the music that he re-released, that he previously released. So as a newly saved Christian hip hop artist, he went to all the streaming platforms and took all of his old music down, because he said he didn't want his children to hear what he used to do. He was so ashamed of what it was. So yeah, man, I think as a young person, you know, I'm sure Sierra, I don't know when she made that song, but she probably was younger when she did that. Didn't have Russell Wilson as a husband, didn't have her kids, you know what I'm saying? She probably was out there wilding, you know, and she's like, oh my God, you know, you mature and you develop, and a lot of things that we did back in the day, we would be like, oh, I hope my kids don't realize that, you know, but with me being an instrumentalist, you know, and now there's some spiritual connotations in instrumental music as well, you know. But you know, but me being an instrumental music and with instrumentalist, and with the historical musical background that I have, and with the love of music, you know, I a lot of my music refers back to old school. You know, I love Earth, Wind and Fire, horns. I love the instrumentation, you know, so a lot of my music is, you know, based on the old school stuff, you know, so
yeah. Mary said a lot of times it's the money, not the music. And then the other sister was like, hey, I love the idea of social, I guess, responsibility for artists. So as you were saying it, I thought about, you said maybe that's when she was younger, and now she's a mature person. And the first thing I thought about is maturity should bring some kind of awareness of social responsibility. The more mature you get, especially when you know that somebody younger or innocent is watching you and listening. Because has your parent ever said to you, or your uncles or your aunt, don't do as I do, do as I say?
Yeah.
It don't work.
Right.
It don't work. You find yourself doing exactly what they're doing, especially if they're your influencers, not necessarily doing the opposite. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, because a lot of people, I think Todd sent me a post saying something about a lot of people are examples to me. I watch them and I know exactly what I don't want to do.
Oh, right.
Looking at them, I don't ever want to be like that. So I'm not saying they can't do that. But normally if they're our babies or someone close to us and they have any level of respect for us, they end up doing what we do, not necessarily what we say. So the message that we are doing speaks louder than what we're saying. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it's the same way in love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, if you had to give any new artist, or give me some advice that you would give new artists coming up now in the Christian realm that want to get their music out, because I know you talk to them all the time.
Yeah. Wow. It's so much that we would be on here all the way into my show. But one of the first things I would have to say is initially do your research about the industry. Don't be so quick to feel like you have a song and you have to put it out and you want the people to hear it. Do your homework. Research the industry first, even before you put the music out, and have a budget to be able to promote your music, because you're a business. If you're an author, you're a business. If you're a motivational speaker, you're a business.
That's true.
If you are a restaurant owner, you're a business. If you're a radio show host, you're a business. You have to have a budget to do what you have to do. And so you can't come into the industry with no money and no direction. So those are the two things that I would really focus on, and telling artists to build that foundation. That's what definitely has to happen. And I actually wrote that in my book, Lyrics to Limelight, which is available on Amazon. Shameless plug. But
yes. No. Please tell us. Lyrics to Limelight.
Lyrics to Limelight. Yes, from studio sessions to stage lights, a guide to success in the music industry.
Well, that should be the first thing. Like I say, what advice would you give them? Go get my book.
Go get right.
All of it in there.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what we're here for. We want to know you. Want to know how you got where you're going. Because I tell Angie this all the time. I was like, one person who knows how to brand himself is Tony D. I love it. I love what you do. So if you're doing that and you know how important that is, you put it all in a book. I think that's like the coolest way to share anything that you want to share with someone, is to write it down, and they have access to it when they don't have access to you. So I think that's excellent. Thank you guys for sharing that.
Thank you so much. I got to shout out my man, Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson said, "Hey, Tony, stop putting all your information free on Facebook. Let's write a book." And so I got to shout out my man, Larry Robinson. He did a phenomenal job with me as my co-writer and publisher. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you know what? I also love that you did it. Yeah, you guys go and get the book. Even if you're not in the music industry, say you know someone who is, and they may not watch this show. Christmas is coming up. I'm just saying, go get the book and give it. It will make a nice gift for someone who is trying to do anything out there dealing with music, because it specifically speaks to that group of people. So go and get the book. And get several of them and give them out for Christmas. And I love supporting each other. I think that's going to be the answer to a lot of our woes, actually putting our money where our mouth is and supporting each other. When we appreciate what you do, support it. That's the easy way. You guys go like and subscribe and share his Instagram post. When people are doing positive things and they're helping other people do positive things, support them. If you don't have $10,000 to give, support them. Show up. Send their links to someone else that you know need them. I'm just giving you some hints and some ideas on how to help people when you enjoy their content. That's what you do. So I know we'll probably be playing another one of your songs shortly. But before we go into that, how do you get, I would say, people you love to support and respect what you do? Because that is another form of support, and that matters to people. It matters to me. When people say they love you and they care about you, how they show up for you. So in the music industry, is that as difficult sometimes in the public speaking? Because I'm in the public speaking and book writing. And sometimes people who love you, they just, for whatever reason, don't support. So tell me about that. Tell me about that. Is that important to musicians too? I mean, because I know you're an artist, you're in your head. It's like, I don't care if nobody does it. I love what I'm doing. Is that the case? Or do you really care what other people think, or, people you love and care about?
Well, yes. Wow. It's that is yes, support from the people that you love to me is important.
That's what Mary said. Very important.
I honestly, and I hope none of my family is on this. I don't really know how many people actually know what I do. I think they know roundabouts what I do, but I don't think they know what I do. I don't think they know what I've created, how broad God has allowed the platforms to be, and to actually really take the time and become a supporter and a fan of what I do. One of the things I had mentioned to my pastor, and because it has resonated with me, we find out about what people do when they die. When we go to their funeral and we read their obituary, and then we're like, oh, we didn't know they did this. Oh man, they had this degree. Oh my God, because we don't take the time out to know who's in our circle and what they have accomplished, because we become so common to our family members. So we just see, oh, that's Anthony. Oh, that's Dallas. Oh, that's Tony. That's whatever. We see him. You see me in the grocery store. You see me, at the laundromat. You see me. Yep. So you don't really even know the totality of a person. And I became guilty of that as well. So what I have been making myself do is find out more about the people in my circle, what they've accomplished, what they've done, what they want to accomplish, what are their dreams and aspirations, so I can applaud them, because it's easy for somebody outside of your circle to say all the sterling things that you said about me. But a lot of times you would love to hear those although I appreciate you, Pat, and Angie, and Grace, and Mary, and a few others, Dr. T, who's a friend of mine from New York, and some others, family members. But sometimes you want those core people in your circle to be like, yo, Tony, like you that dude, not in a way that's going to puff you up and make you arrogant.
Right.
But it's to acknowledge that you have surrendered yourself and allow God to pour in things in you, and you also were cognizant enough to open yourself up to receive what he pours into you, to allow these things to come to fruition, because so many people hear what God has placed in them, realize they have talents, and don't operate and act on them. So yeah, that's a loaded question. I could talk about that all day, but I'm at the point now where I am cool with realizing what God has placed in me and who it's allowing to touch. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
It does, and you're right. I asked the question because all of us that are doing something that we consider worthy, like a lot of times our dreams, I really believe this, our dreams and our passion that is placed or ordained for us spiritually is not made just for us. You can tell where it came from as to how many people it services. So like you said, I mean, that's the thing. You love me, take care of my folks, right? You had the issue, so you realize other people had the issue. It became your passion. I wanted to make sure that people love and understand what love is and what real relationship looks like. That was an issue of mine. And now I have a passion to help others. I know that where that comes from. That's a good thing. So I know where that comes from. So a couple of things I was thinking about, though, when you said that. You heard the quote, you have to dance with the ones that bring you, or the one that brung you. A lot of times we do have to appreciate those people who appreciate us, because the one we're looking for it from is not necessarily going to come from them. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to keep doing what you're doing. And
well,
go ahead.
I have to say that you helped me a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, on that particular, yes, because I was on your show. And after the show, we have our little talk where we talk about another 2 hours after the show. and you shared that with me. So you helped me with that. So thank you, because that was good. I just had to let you know that you helped me.
You'll make me cry over here. No, no, but I don't know if this is a scripture, but you comfort people with what you've been comforted with, if that makes sense. And so I'm able to move along and do what I do because I'm no longer looking for it from family, from, siblings, or, I'm not looking for it. If it comes that way, praise God, but I'm not looking for it from them. And then I had to ask myself this question. Am I better than Christ? I mean, he said it himself. A prophet is not without honor, except in his own country. So in other words, you got honor everywhere until you go home. That's where you don't have it. And I don't know if it's familiarity, hey, I know you when you used to pee in the bed, or I knew you when,
I really think I think that's what it is. And it's easy to fall into that because you know the ins and outs about an individual. You know that individual in their low points and their worst points, as well as the high points.
Stop. Hold that thought, because we're going to come right back to it, because I have another song that I got to let the people hear. And I keep missing my points to take this break because we're in it. But hold that point about other people supporting you. We're going to listen to this song. We'll come right back.
For all my people at the barbecues, backyard parties, it's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life. Hands up in the sky, we start the party off right. We in the place, early birds, we ain't tardy tonight. Nah. In a trance as the beat in our eardrums. Got the moves in my feet, bro, and then some. Gonna lose plenty sleep, only live once. Up all night, man, we lit, fam, no kid stunts. Karaoke session going live. On the mic, spitting favorite vibes. Reminisce about them older times. Bringing back them old school written rhymes. Celebration lit, and you know it's real. Got the neighbors joining us, addicted to the party thrill. Jumping off the roof in the atmosphere, we hardly chill. Yeah, we going hard in the place like an army drill. In the ranch with the dogs pouring. Cause a party ain't official with no George Foreman. Everybody on the dance floor feeling good. Cause we living for the moment, we ain't living hood. Soul Train line getting in a groove here. It's a bash for the old and the new years. Even kids got the moves to the tunes. Cheers. Here's a toast to the good life with no fears. What a glorious sign to be in the very presence of my peers in their prime. Elders, the adolescents with no tears in their mind. We looking up, all the other worries behind. Thought I told you, it's a party tonight. So I chose to bring the party to light. Driving back to the crib, no Bacardi and Sprite. Cause we drunk off the spirit of the laughter and hype. Yeah.
They said it was wrong to promote me, that I wasn't ready, that I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the
first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Hello, business owners. This is your fit photographer, Andre Gerard, coming at you with my 2025 campaign. The goal is to promote and empower her enterprise. Yes, the goal is to elevate women of color in business. On March the 1st, we are set to launch this new campaign, and it doesn't matter what your business is. Please contact us at www.andregerardphotography.com to book your consultation. Let's make this an amazing year. Follow me on all social media at Andre Gerard, your fit photographer.
Soy Udanis y te invito a escuchar cada domingo de 3 a 6 de la tarde Level Up, sube el nivel, gente corriente con historias extraordinarias. No te lo pierdas.
Hi, this is Terry Cummings, 18-year veteran of the NBA. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey y'all, this is Candace Stevens, State of Georgia real estate broker and founder of Day After Foundation Incorporated, where we are transforming the transplant experience. You are vibing with my people, Angie from the B and Mr. Scribe. So level up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
And we're back. So, I was over here dancing in my mind. I had a whole line dance to this song.
There actually is a line dance to it.
I was going to say, if you don't have one, somebody said there is. So, you have to teach it to us. So that's going to be the challenge to get the Level Up crew.
It's real easy. I asked, shout out to Peter Terry out of Wilmington, North Carolina. I said, Peter, don't make it challenging for us non-dancing people. And so it's real simple. It has 4 little steps. It's not too hard.
Well, you're going to have to send me the video, or if she hasn't done or he hasn't done a YouTube video, you have to send it to me so I will know it. And I think you should challenge people that don't normally dance. I'm not going to say no names. Look, I need to see y'all a little few minutes video recording yourself doing this dance and send it to
Angie.
Yes. Don't say anything because Grace can
Mary
get it. Yes. So I'm just saying. I think we need to do that. I started something, so we'll handle that off. We'll handle that off of here because we're already in trouble for calling her out. So anyway, we started a conversation and we had to take a break. She was like, for real, y'all calling me out. Andy's like, you calling me out for real? We went to break, but we were still talking about, I guess, the power to support, or people who support, and it's important to us. You were saying something, and I hated to stop that. That's what happens, you guys. We take a break, but I get so, anyway, I'm gonna apologize.
No, you good. I was just saying, I think it is. We do get so common with the individuals that's in our circle, especially sometime in our house, because we know their ups and downs, their strengths and weaknesses, shortcomings, and we begin sometime to focus on those so much till we actually begin to tarnish the sterling gift that individual may be. And so you kind of like, whatever. When it comes to the individual. So and that's even with our friends too. So we have to really try to and trust me, I am preaching to myself when I say all of this. That we really have to try to set aside individuals' shortcomings to really understand, to recognize the gift and the goodness from the people. Because we may not always say the right things, do the right things, act the right ways. But we're going to make those mistakes, but you got to be able to now if the people are just evil, that's a whole nother. We got to let the Lord deal with that. But I'm really big on trying to find out what people have accomplished before we, as one of my older pastors said, before we see them on their cooling bed.
And but Tony, you said something vital here, and you guys listen to this. Give people their roses while they're still alive, while they can smell them and they can see them and they can feel them. True story. Before my parents passed away, my dad passed away first, and him and my mom, I mean, they've been together 50, almost 60 years, but they just be at each other constantly. And I said to my mom, I said, you need to be a little nicer to my dad. You know, I'm a daddy's girl. I said, if he wasn't here, you would be crying and you'd be, no, I won't. He get on my nerves so bad, really. But when he passed away, she was like, that was so dumb. I think about all the times we wasted time and energy fighting over nothing, that we could have done something a lot better with that time. So I take that serious. I will tell people in a minute, I appreciate you. You can ask, like Angie may get a text, girl, I appreciate what you do for me. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. And, I'm not a mushy girl. So if it's like, oh, that's so sweet. Okay, that's enough. Now let's get up and get going. You got stuff to do. But the point is you say it. Angie said, love on them because look, y'all gonna have to help me out here. Angie said, love on them because when the family and friends realize who they are, they're the biggest fans. Yeah, they are. When they realize, sometimes other people have to tell you what you have, if that makes sense. Be like, oh man, you can't see this? I mean, this woman is talented. I ain't never seen anybody cook macaroni and cheese like that. You'd be like, really? I mean, we had this every week. So, and Grace is agreeing. She says she agreed. Give them their roses while they're here, while they can smell them. And Bishop Bronner said something, I think it was last week. He was saying, a king is not a king. You don't recognize a king anyway until he has a crown on his head. And so a lot of times that's his queen's responsibility to place that there. He's just a man. Just a man. Yeah. Till you put the crown on his head, it's like, hey, he may have a lot of flaws, but that's my king. Yeah. That's my boo. This is what this is, or vice versa. That's my queen. This is what she does. This is how God has gifted her. Yes. Name one person with the whole roll call of faith that it wasn't some flaws documented. And I think that is so key for us to take note of while we're putting religious people on these pedestals. You guys, everybody's human. They have mistakes. And the moment you can't accept that, you have put yourself in a really bad situation because you're going to be judged with what you're judging with.
I'm reminded of President Jimmy Carter. Mm-hmm. They dogged him out so bad for those 4 years while he was president back in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And but when he passed away, he was one of the most beloved presidents, and what he did after he was president, they had so many great things to say after he died, but they dogged him out while he was in the White House. So, you, like you said, give time to tell people you appreciate who they are while they're here, because when they lower you down in the ground, it's too late to say it then. So, and we have to stop focusing on. It's so much negativity in our world. It's like it really just. I'm just so done with social media. I'm like you. I don't watch the news. Because it's so much negativity. Mm-hmm. So many people critiquing everything everybody does. Everybody has an opinion, and we didn't even ask you in the first place. Like, really? Like, it's just.
He said, like, really?
Like, it is crazy, man. Like, I really sometimes have to just, and because I work on social media promoting the artists, I have to be on there daily, but a lot of times I just program my post, and I may not even get on there a couple of days just to get away from the foolishness and the negativity and everybody canceling one another. And if God decided to handle us the way we handle each other, we would not even be here. You know what I'm saying? We need to show some grace to people. You know, we don't have too much grace that we share with one another. Anyway, that's not why you have me on here, but
no, it is. It is. I really believe that everything we say, every nugget that is taught, I pray that it's caught, because what happens when you catch this, you really get, you know, unless you get it, you don't take a hold of the nuggets that are out there. And so we said a lot in that, and I'm just, you know, regurgitating powerful messages I heard, which is why I'm telling you, don't be listening to so much negativity, because your mind will hold on to that stuff and it'll come back up. But I was thinking about, someone says a lot of times, silence speaks louder than somebody who's making a lot of noise. And then you also have success. To be successful, you don't have to be in the spotlight. So sometimes you can pull away and talk to somebody one-on-one. You don't have to shout it from the rooftop on social media, and tell that person how much you love and appreciate what they do for you. Just a little nugget of that. You never know how big that can be to somebody who felt like giving up. So even with you, and I'm admiring what you're doing and how you're branding and marketing yourself, and you're relentless in putting your brand out there and helping other people do the same. Somebody has to tell you that, or you can keep going sometimes in your own strength. And it's like, okay, I need somebody to hold my arms up and help me with this thing. And you hear that regurgitating in your ear. Is somebody out there getting something from this that is important? And so I don't want anybody to ever give up on themselves because somebody hadn't said, I appreciate you. You better start with yourself and be like, okay, I did okay. I'm doing all right. Somebody.
You know, and I'm so glad you said that, because I was raised in a culture of religiosity, if that's a word, that you could not boast on yourself, because that was called being prideful
or arrogance.
Or you're puffed up and stuff. And so and a lot of people in my age group that were raised in Christian homes, kind of have this, self humility. What is it? False humility or whatever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's ego too. That's ego too.
So, but I think it's okay to say, you know what, man, that song I produced, that joint was fire. Like, it's okay. Like when I listen to Party Tonight, to be able to have a vision of a song in my mind and then have it come out as polished and have my team, Damian Merle and Sam Purpose, and that's on fire. Like I should be able to say that and not be made to feel like I'm being puffed up or they throw that, what Paul said, do not think more highly of yourself as you are. He said that's for a specific purpose to a specific people for a specific reason, you know, but we use these scriptures so much out of context, and you know, we need to applaud ourselves sometimes. Pat, you need to applaud that you've written books and you travel and you're blessing people with what you do, you know, as a motivational speaker. Why shouldn't you be able to do that, you know?
Yeah, well, we have to. And I think the most uncomfortable thing is for us to say sometimes I make a difference. And thank you for sharing that, Portia. She has a group of supportive sisters, and her husband, her new husband, congratulations, is her biggest supporter on her entrepreneurial journey. And that is a hard thing to find. I know my sweetie is a big supporter of me. I'm like, ooh, I can't say how do you do it, because I've been there too. But the point is, you talked about a haughty spirit and somebody not thinking don't think so much of yourself or something too high of yourself. That's if it's not warranted. If you read that, if it's not warranted, because I mean, you know, sometimes you can, clean around the toilet and be like, I did that. No, you messed it up. So you're supposed to clean. So I think it's, when you wrote a piece of music you're proud of, there's nothing wrong with saying, God, I am so grateful that I did this thing. I had it in my head and I came about. I think that's success. Those wins are important to keep doing what you do.
And for me, especially me not having any formal training on doing this, like this, I didn't go to school for that's how amazing God is, because everything that I do, I was self-taught, and I didn't go to school for any of this, so we got to go to another break. I see you pointing.
No, I'm just making sure. Look, I'm watching it now. I'm like, okay, we still got like 10 minutes, so let me make sure I'm watching it now. But no, you said it. It is so important how we speak to ourselves. That's why we got to guard our ear. We got to watch who we put around us. I give people grace. When they mess up, they have grace. They may not have access to me, because I know when you're exposed and you know who people are, believe them. And I don't think if you want that kind of an energy around you, you don't have to have that kind of energy around you to love them. Keep their jacked up self over here for a minute. Love on them and pray for them. You see them, hug them or whatever, but they ain't got to be at your house day and night, and they ain't got to be in your ear day and night either. So I'm not going to be an advocate or a supporter of keeping that kind of, I call it cancerous energy in you, because it will snuff out and distract you from your calling. So you got to keep people, like-minded people around you. I ain't saying move out your house. People, listen to me. I ain't saying move out your house if your spouse ain't there yet or your kids ain't supporting you. I ain't saying that. I'm saying as much as it's up to you, you know the words, live peaceably with all men and women, as much as it's up to you. Sometimes it's not up to you, but if it is up to you, govern yourself accordingly. That's all I'm saying. So did I say anything wrong in that? To check myself.
You're good.
I get to go in and be in trouble, like, oh Lord, did I really say that? But so I appreciate what you do. And is there anybody in your life that has been a inspiration to you that maybe you have not told them? Or maybe they don't think they're an inspiration.
No, I always tell people that who whatever they did, whether big or small, I always let them know.
Mm-hmm.
I let them know, all the way from the first person who gave me an opportunity to be on radio to everybody, because I'm a reflective person, and I get to, I'm an only child, so I guess a lot of times I get to myself, and I rather be by myself most of the time because I'm only child. But when I get into those moments, I think about stuff, and and I've even reached out to people on social media that I hadn't said I appreciate you in years, to let them know, and they're like, "Where's this coming from?" Like, no, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah, I'd be nervous.
X, Y, and Z. Like, I just want to let you know that you didn't have to, because see, here's the thing: when people do things genuinely, they don't have to do it. You need to let them know that they appreciate it. It's sometimes people do stuff, they're not getting paid for it. It doesn't take a lot of time just to say thank you or to, say something on social media about them or whatever. I mean, especially, we need to take time out. So to answer your question, there may be somebody I have overlooked, but I do my best to make sure that whoever you are that helped me along this journey, I'll let you know I appreciate you. So
yeah, and if he missed you, he's saying it now. So
for those who may be watching, look, if I appreciate you.
Yes. So let me see. How are we doing on time? We still got a few minutes. I'm like really cautious of it now. So with that being said, you pretty much try to tell everybody. What about receiving it? Is that hard for you sometimes when it comes out of nowhere? And I'm saying this because I was in a setting last night, and I call him my adopted little brother. Mario, he tells his big brother, he's like, "Big bro, I love you. I look up to you." And he's saying all these things, and it's like, where's that coming from? You're like, it kind of throws people off sometimes, and you wonder where it's coming from. It's like, okay, are you okay? Have you been to the doctor? Are you sick? Because it comes out of nowhere. Have you ever had that kind of experience? Like, dang, spirit.
Yes, I have. Yes, and it is kind of like, okay, you good, bro? You good? But
yeah,
the hardest thing for me to do in that situation is to acknowledge what they're saying, because I don't see myself as what people
Good
say.
point. Yeah.
I'm just Anthony trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm just, bruh, I'm out here, you know, doing my best, like, you know, you know, but when people like, oh, you know, and like the artists, so many artists, they come and they like, yo, Tony, man, let me tell you, I just want to say thank you. Cause if it wasn't for your platform, man, I don't know what I would do. You know, that's humbling. So that it gets me into a place of gratitude to God that, you know, again, because like I said, I made eyeglasses for a living for 20 some odd years.
I remember that.
I had no inkling, even though I had a desire to be on radio and I was doing it for a hobby, that I would be doing it for a living and helping people get on the radio. It was a humbling moment yesterday because my family, we went to Columbia, South Carolina to eat at this fancy restaurant. And coming back through, I was on the radio station in Columbia, and as I got to Aiken, I was on the radio station at Aiken at the same time. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like, you know, this, to some people that might not be a big deal, but to me that was so humbling for somebody from Queens, New York, you know, who barely graduated high school, you know, not because I couldn't, I just was lazy in school, you know, just, you know, that, you know, had years in the military, made eyeglasses for a living, and now hear yourself on the radio in 2 different cities, you know, it's just humbling. And so, man, I just say, man, God is amazing. Like, I always close my show by saying he could do exceedingly and abundantly above all you can even ask or think. And that really is true, because like, you know, as nowhere in the world I thought that this would be my story. And even being interviewed by people like yourself, like, you know, I'm like, I'm just Dallas, like, who, you know, you know, but God is good, man.
Well, I think it's so cool that other people see it a lot of times before us. My sister was like, hey, that's from having a humble spirit. Maybe you don't see it. But I think sometimes it's, Sister Tamara said, that's from having a humble spirit. Sometimes we don't see what other people see in us. So, and I think too, it's from past hurt and trauma sometimes, because people will tell you, who do you think you are? You know, you ain't this, you ain't that. They'll say that.
Oh yeah, I've been told that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've had that more than once. I mean, from people who's supposed to love you, right? Tear you down, tear you down, tear you down. So I, you know, my mind goes to scripture a lot. And the question was, who do people say I am? Who do men say I am? That's an important thing. Your testimony is so powerful because it says to most people, it's not about me. It's about the gift or the spirit inside of me that is causing me to do these things. Yes, we have to be willing. Yes. But when we show up and people say things like, big money Pat, I was like, in Jesus' name, I'll be like, I'll take that. You seeing it before I get it? I'll take it. Or they'll say, you got all the answers. Tell me about this relationship thing. I need your input. And I'm thinking, I've been divorced 3 times. I keep coming up 3 this, 3 this, 3 this. And it's like, none of that matters as long as.
I think we got to go to break.
Oh, see what happens? Yeah, we have 1 minute. We're going to take another break.
Okay.
But the point is, thank you, Tony, because I've been like feeling bad again. I'm rolling and just messing it up all
But
over.
you know, somebody asked me, because I shared this conversation with a dear friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. I was walking and they said, I was telling them, you know, similar stuff like this. And the question posed to me back was, who do you think God says that you are?
Good point. We're going to come back with that. We're going to answer that when we get back. Who do you think God says you are? Okay.
Hey, Daddy.
What's up, Mason?
I like this beat.
Yeah, I like it too.
What you gonna call it?
I think I'm gonna call it Keep It Funky. funky. Sing it with me, Mason. This your line. Good job, Mason.
Thanks, Dad.
Stop letting food be the center of your universe. Stop letting it control you. Stop making it the center of your world. When you start putting it in the center and always do things based on food, like you're only going to travel certain places based on food, you're only going to eat this because you're emotional, or you're not going to eat this because you had a bad day at work, whatever it is. Stop making it the center of your universe. When you do that, it's going to be harder to break that habit, and it's going to be harder to stay consistent with good foods, healthy foods, whatever, because you're associating certain foods with certain activities in your life. Stop that.
All my people at the barbecues, backyard parties. It's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Get inspired with real talk that takes you higher. Like me, Rebecca Outlaw of Tickle Mites LLC. Level Up, Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey, this is Shantia Warren of Hams Farm and Assurance Wellness. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
This is your girl, Deidre Goodlow, author of Seeds for the Soul. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Keep it locked right here.
And we're back. And you know I'm going to talk about that song. I'm going to have you answer that question or ask that question again. And we're going to talk about, who do you think God says you are? Because it's like, it's important in who you say you are. And then it's important who people who love you say you are. But who do you think God says you are?
You know, this may sound crazy, but I'm still asking God for that answer.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I'm still in that place. Okay, God, you know, who do you say I am? You know, yeah. So I'm glad that my friend stopped me in my tracks and like, skirt. you know. So yeah, I'm still asking God and seeking God for that.
And you know what I love a lot of times about spirit, about God, about Christ, they will ask us things in question. Like, not that they don't know the answer. They really want to hear what our spirit says about who we are. Like, for instance, when he asked the question, where y'all been? Where you at? When you're looking for him, where you at? It ain't that he don't know. He
Right.
wanted you to tell him where you at so that you
Right.
can be aware of where you are right now. So that's why I thought that question was so important,
Yeah.
because you're going to have to answer that question to
Yes.
receive it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
oh, he's going to be like, this child of mine, let me tell you, she be way out here, sometime way over here. But the point is, when it's time to get in line, that's where she be. You know what I'm saying? So I hear that question, and I was trying to answer that. So, I'm fixing to talk about Mason a little bit. I love that you used your son, right?
Right.
Your
Yeah.
son's voice, and you had him pulled in on that record. How did that happen? How did that come about?
So, I was in my studio, in my home
Mhm.
studio, and when he was younger, he doesn't do it too much now because everybody, all the kids are on their devices. But when he
Yeah.
was younger, he would come in and be like asking me, "Daddy, what's that? Dad, how you do that? When you make that?" And I'd be like, "Come on, get out of here." I'm in work mode.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm working here.
yeah. So one day I was like, "Come here, Mason," because he used to sit in on when I was I did the afternoon drive show. He would sit in sometime and take me to commercial break. So he's not afraid to be on the air.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, come in and say this." And come in. And so that's how it happened. And when I tell you, and I think he was about 8 or 9, he's now 13. But when I hear that song, I always get choked up. That is so
Oh, so precious. Yeah.
yeah, it is. You
You
know
don't
what
get
I'm
those
saying?
times back.
Like, I'm gonna play it for his family when he's like 40.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
like,
And
"Hey,
he'll be
look,
like, oh
this is
my
what your dad
God.
did when he was 9."
Before the voice started changing.
Right.
Mary said one of your sons picked out Mike's song. I don't know if it's Mason. Was it Mason who picked out one of Mike's songs?
It was Miles, actually. Yeah,
Miles.
Miles. Yeah,
Is Miles older than Mason or
Miles
younger?
is 2 years older than Miles is 15, but he was vibing on energy. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go with that. You think your kids, your sons, are inspired or moving toward music or radio, kind of following your footsteps? Any?
Mason is in the band in school, and I'm so proud of him because he's in the 8th grade, but he's playing in the high school band, so that's a major accomplishment. I don't know about being on broadcasting. Miles, I don't think he would be. He's Mr. Football. But they both have a great appreciation for music because it's what's played in the house, old school and gospel, so they love the music, so yeah, I don't think they'll take up the mantle, but you never know.
No, never know. Mary said our children are sometimes our greatest critic, which goes back to the point, they're not going to necessarily do what you say. They're going to do what you do. And it may
Right.
not be in the music industry. Y'all hear me out. If your kids are not following in your footsteps, God has given them their own trail. Just encourage them in what they do to be the best at what they do. They don't have to do what you're doing to be great, but they have to find their own way, because sometimes it's like, well, I want them to take over the business. I want them to do what I do. I want them to take over what I'm doing. Why am I building all this? It doesn't matter whether they take over what you do. The spirit is what you want them to get. Because a lot of this stuff, hey, my mother and dad never thought about doing what I'm doing. And I love them and I love what they did and how they raised us. My experience with them was great. But I wasn't interested in what they're interested in, and what I experienced pushed me into what I'm doing, and I as an individual. So I think I my hats off to you for even allowing him in the studio and letting him see what you do. Don't get me started about how important it is for fathers to show up in their kids' life in some kind of way. So hats off that he got a chance to do that, and he will hear it. That's going to be amazing. And shout out to Mary says, shout out to your wife for her support. She is awesome as she supports you. I didn't get the pleasure to meet her. I think Angie and everyone else did who was there, but hats off to Mrs. Frazier as well for what she does. Because a lot of times it doesn't necessarily have to be in the studio or doing this or doing this. Sometimes it's just delivering the kids where they need to go. You just said you helped her to get food in the house. It could be going grocery shopping. That support is huge. As someone who lives alone and runs 4 companies and be stressed out half the time, it's huge to have someone even in the house that is taking something off of your plate. It's a big deal. So, hats off. We won't forget to say
that's right.
Hats off to the queen of the house for what she does as well.
Right.
Yes. So you said something else that I skimmed over it earlier. You said I had no formal education. A lot of us can say that, especially entrepreneurs and people who have vision and dreams. They have no formal education. And I think about all the excuses we could give people. Well, I ain't have no degree in that. I didn't get my degree in public speaking or in psychology or I do count the 30-some years of experience, but it wasn't formal education. It was, I want to say self-taught, but I want to say self-caught and spirit taught. That's a big deal because a lot of times, like I said, the questions will come only to allow us to dig into ourselves. So spirit will ask you some questions as you're walking along this thing. What could you have done differently? What would you give? What would you do if you get the opportunity to do it again? Things like that. You have to catch it though. So those are the most successful people. Probably 95% of the country's millionaires are self-taught or self-educated in some way, which is why I really believe in personal development. But go ahead.
Totally agree with that. And also a lot of the millionaires or billionaires got it in their later years.
Yes.
So it's never too late to be successful in however, because a lot of times I have to say this, and I had to learn this myself, that we equate success to having an abundance of money.
Yep.
Right. That's not always the case.
Nope.
You could be successful and just have an average amount of money, whatever is, allows you to be comfortable. And, and to me, I'm successful because of what God has allowed me to accomplish, being self-taught, going to seminars, watching Zoom, getting a Zoom calls and stuff, personal stuff like that. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I love that. I love that you're actually giving that testimony too, because so many people, and please understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to put down anybody who has the master's, the doctor's degree, or any of that. But I'm also giving real kudos to people who took the time, maybe even spent the money it takes to learn their craft. I invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn how to show up better for people I service, period. And I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I still believe in mentors and coaches. I've hired coaches, I've hired mentors, and it's people that I watch from a distance. They may not ever know me, but they are mentors. And I'm looking not to mimic them, but to see how they use their gift to help others. So I do want to do that. So if you have a mentor or someone that you looked at, not saying you're cookie cutter cutting yourself out to be them, but do you have people that you looked at in your life and say, wow, this person, I want to be like them in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? I want to be like them.
No, definitely. I have from the radio. Well, first of all, let me back up my dad. My dad is like the ultimate dad. Like, he just celebrated his 90th birthday, still getting around good. You would never guess he's 90 years old.
Wow.
But he taught me a work ethic that was like none other. Like this guy worked at Grumman Aerospace. He built the space. He worked on the space shuttle. He worked on the lunar module. He's worked on the F-14 fighter plane. And he went to work for 29 years, and he always brags that he was only late once, and that was because we had a big snowstorm.
Wow.
He never called in. He went to work sick so many days. He exemplified a hardworking African American brother. He taught me, how to be respectful in the home, how to work hard to provide for your family. So that's the first person that I got to shout out. And he's not on social media. He's not, as he says, he's not on Facebook.
Yeah, that's that age. It's like, I don't know what it's called, but I'm not on it.
But I got to shout him out. But in radio, I never met this guy. But in New York, if you're from New York, and I know Dr. Tamara is, Frankie Crocker was one of the most iconic radio personalities back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And his voice on WBLS was the voice of radio in New York for quite some time. And I emulate a lot of what he does and what he did and how he introduced music. So never got a chance to meet him because he passed away. But yeah, he's somebody who I emulate. And then Harry Hughes, who is here locally, he's the one that really told me, look, Tony D, stop trying to be somebody else. Just be Dallas on the radio. Just be this guy that's have us laughing here in the studio. This guy cutting up. Just be yourself. Stop trying to be, And so when he gave me that liberty and I was comfortable in just being me on the radio, yeah, so him. Now musically, as far as production, my dear friend and brother Damian Merle, Wilmington, North Carolina, he has taught me so much about music production, how songs should sound sonically, how to put a song together, how to write a song. Man, he has done an amazing job. He's even helped me elevate my bass playing. He's made me reach outside of myself because I'm a church bass player. You see my basses in the back, my 3 babies. I'm a church bass player. I'm used to locking with the drums, playing behind the choir, doing the thing. But he's pushed me out of my comfort zone to be more of a soloist. And so, yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, man, those are people that I really emulate, and they've been impactful into helping me, become, who I am today.
So, yeah, shout out, because you will be, think about this. This is the humbling thing. You will be somebody else's person. Like even in branding, I could say, I've been watching Tony D. I want to do what he does. I like a lot of stuff that he does in this area. I mean, I'm not trying to play bass, so I'm still not trying to be you, but I'm pulling those things that I like. I mean, Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Oprah Winfrey, Jim Rohn, all these people I've loved for years. I will just go listen to them. Shoot, Bishop Dale Bronner, he's probably at the top of my list. So all of these people I have listened to for years and still listen to. Like I could be, I wouldn't say short of inspiration, but maybe so. Just, sometimes you get through that little dragging part of your life. I definitely don't go turn on the news. But I will go to YouTube University and put on a motivational speaker, not only because that's what I want to do, but I've learned that speaks to my spirit. And it's like, yes, I can agree with them. It's like a yes and an amen in my soul. It's like, yes, that is what it's about. It's really about this. So, I mean, it's a list of people that I can say I admire little things about them. And I say, I like that. Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I'm with you. I'm big on YouTube, music tutorials,
yes.
Bass tutorials, songwriting tutorials, production. I'm all in that because I'm realizing now that music is such a part of who I am. Yep. And I'm realizing now that from an early age, I didn't even realize it was who I was. Because it's funny. I remember as a child saying what songs should be next released from projects. I never forget. And I didn't know what that was as a kid. You know, I just like, that song need to be on the radio. I'll never forget that Patrice Rushen came out with her album Straight from the Heart that has Forget Me Nots on it, right?
Yes.
So I went and got Forget Me Nots, the cassette, and I'm listening to the whole thing, and then I heard the song Remind Me, You Remind, and I was like, that need to be on the radio. She need to put that one on the radio next. And but doggone, if it wasn't 6 months later, that was the next single. I was like, okay, I must have, and I would do this a lot of the times. I'm like, I must have an ear for what's solid music, you know. So didn't know I was going to be doing what I'm doing now, you know. So but the foundation and the footprint was there as a kid. So yeah.
And I think about I love Patrice Rushen, but I think about people that have influenced me little and I didn't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? They're doing stuff or saying stuff and I'm like, wow, I like that. But you look back on it now and you look at where you are and it's like, no wonder I like that. That was going to be something I was going to be doing.
Exactly.
Or I was going to be using. And you said be yourself. I think that was one of the best pieces of advice when I didn't even know who I was. And I think that comes at a certain point of maturity in your life when you accept who you are and know who you are and you don't let anybody talk you out of it. I think that's maturity. When you're like, nope, this is my lane. I'm staying in it. Just because I can do all things through Christ don't mean I need to be doing them all. I need to stay right here. This is my sweet spot and this is what I'm supposed to do.
You know, and that's so good because when you are talented and gifted in a lot of things, your mind tells you to try to do all of that stuff, you know, and I've realized that radio and music is what I do. I can do graphics, I can build websites, I can do all this other stuff, you know, but I've done music, I've done 10 music videos, I do lyric videos, I do all of these things, but I realized that, you know, where I am now is what I need to be focusing on. So yeah, music is the thing, and that's where that's the sweet spot I'm in. I said, what happened to Pat? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was my single Summer Night Groove. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's available on all streaming platforms. All of my music is available on all streaming platforms, as well as my personal Bandcamp page. You can go to tonyd2.bandcamp.com and you can check out all of the music there, everything you've heard tonight. But most of the songs are streaming on digital platforms. What's up, Pat? You're back.
I love that I'm back, you guys. I apologize. I'm not in my studio. I'm off. I'm somewhere else. And so in my studio, I always have my all my equipment plugged up in the same outlet. But anyway, we had an adjustment that needed to be made, but I'm back. I was like, ain't nobody mad but the devil. I am so upset with that. But thank you for holding it down like a true superstar until I found my way back in here. So
it's all good.
I'm not going to miss a beat. I promise you I'm not, because we were talking about, where were we at? We were talking about mentors and people that we follow and people who follow us and look to us for that kind of influence as well. And so look, what did I miss? And I'm going to jump right back into it. I didn't want to not finish that thought about the importance of having mentors and importance of having people that we can learn from and being that as well. So
yeah, what I was saying at the end was knowing being that sometimes people are gifted and talented in multiple things and you want to try to dribble and dabble in everything, you know, and you just got to focus on one or two things and just make that work for you. So that's what I've had to learn how to do, because I've tried so many things and been fairly successful in a lot of things, but you know, now it's just my radio programs and my music production and helping independent artists. Those are the things that I do and I'm focusing on, and that's where I'm at in this season.
But then that makes you even better at it, because it's like, you know, you've heard of a jack of all trade, a master of none. I don't think that's a compliment. When you're trying to do everything and you haven't mastered anything, I think it's so important to master something and to stay with it. And people know you for that. Like, I know who to go to for this particular thing. Another message that was shared with me, Tony, a while back. I'm sure it was shared with a lot of people because he gives great messages and inspiration. But he was talking about when we have a dream or a vision in us, the devil or negative forces cannot stop it. That is our destiny. That's who we are. Cannot stop it. But what they can do, they can use the tool distraction. So they may not be able to destroy you, but they can distract you. When I tell you, I heard that and I'm like, oh my God, that explains why when you're trying to do great things, people act up on you. They start acting up and it's like, where did that come from? Something might break down, anything. But our superpower is focus. And so we can remember this is just a distraction. This is not stopping anything. It's a distraction. Recognize it for what it is and come right back center and focus on what it is we're called to do. And I heard another, I think Bishop Bronner said this as well. People retire from jobs. You never retire from purpose. It's what you will do until you are translated home. When you find your purpose and that passion kicks in, that's the stuff. I have a saying that I have trademarked. See, I'm learning from you. I've trademarked that my dreams keep me awake at night, or my dreams keep me awake. And when you are so focused on your dream, you just show up different in life. Like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. That's true.
Yes.
So true. Yeah. I'm also getting to the point now of being okay when people leave my life.
Oof. You better say that again for those in the back that didn't hear you. Say that again.
It took me a long time, but I'm getting okay with when people leave my life. I'm like, all right, it must be a reason. So cool. Yeah.
Yes.
The older I get, the less drama and stress I need. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's success. You're learning, that is maturing into your craft. You're learning it don't take all those. I mean, going back, I know we have a similar foundation of understanding what even biblical principles. A lot of times it's like, no, you don't need this many people to win this war. Nope, send them away. Nope, send them away. And then even in everyday life, coaches have said it's a lot of people who are not going with you to the top. They may have started with you, but they're not going with you. So you can't get caught off when they ain't going with you in your next area of life or your next level of success. They're not with you. I read something my good friend Portia said. She said, here lately, a lot of people have been falling off, but she's happy. She's newly married. She's looking forward to building a career and stepping out of her job and stepping out on faith. So she's moving into a different area of her life, and people are falling off left and right. So I think it's great that you're not concerned about that. It's like, hey, it's natural. It's what's going to happen, and I'm okay with it. Can you give, I don't want you to give names, but can you give a specific, I won't say person or incident where you just knew that person was going to be all the way with you. Like, they're never leaving me. And then when they left, you had to learn that lesson that you know now, that not everybody's going to stay with you, and it's okay.
No, I don't want to, I don't want to go
No,
there.
I know that can be kind of tricky, right?
Yeah. But no, the situation was very startling. And it took me by surprise. And it threw me for a loop for a minute. And sometimes, honestly, I still kind of try to deal with it, because the enemy always brings stuff back, to try to knock you off. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
that distraction. It's a distraction.
I'm getting to the point where if the people become more of a hindrance and a weight, than an assistance, then I'm okay. I'm okay with not, now some folk I'll fight for. I'll be like, look, come on, let's sit down, let's talk it over, let's see, what we can do. But there's sometimes you like, okay, cool, I'm good. Because again, like the Lord, if he allows me to see December, I think I'm going to be 57. Yeah, 57 years old. I can't remember now.
We have to keep up with it. It's like, okay, I was born in this year, and this year is the yes.
I'm not. I don't need the drama anymore. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it. Just look, life is too short. People are leaving here. Oh, shout out. Oh, before I say this, man, let's keep South Carolina State homecoming. They had a shooting and 2 people died. So keeps that area in your prayers. And I said, the Lord put that in my mind, because I was saying people are leaving here every day.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got the time to be being aggravated about petty little stuff. If we can't get along, we can't talk it out, we can't come to an agreement, and you decide to go your way, okay. You said earlier, I'm going to still love you, still keep you in prayer, but I need peace of mind. As I need peace of mind.
Yes, yes. I'm with you. I promise you. I am with you. And I think at a certain level of maturity in your life, it becomes necessary. Like, I will trade off a human being that is not supposed to be in my life for peace any moment, because I have an understanding that if I can't give you what you need, or you can't be what I need in a relationship, friendship, whatever, business relationship, then I'm not fighting against law. I'm not fighting against the law and the nature and the rules of law and spirit. I'm not fighting against that to be anybody's friend. If they're not here, they're not supposed to be here. It's like, bye. It's bye. It's bye and blessings. Bye, and I wish you love and light, peace and blessings. Have a nice life. And no harm, no foul. What does somebody say? Boundaries don't mean you have to have beef with anybody.
Right.
No, we're just not. We're not in the same vein. And it's okay. It really is. It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, Pat, I think they're giving us direction.
Yes, I think they're saying one more time, you guys. So I think, is this the break or is this these things always go so fast. It's like, oh my God, where did the time go? Because there's so much we could talk about and so many things we can do. So anyway, is this time for a break?
I think it's closing remarks.
Oh, okay. Okay. See what I'm saying? I could keep going. It's always like that when we get together, Tony D. So I want to thank you. My closing remark is thank you for finding your passion, for staying in it, and for giving so much to so many people while you're doing your thing. I think that's the true definition of being in community with believers and building I don't know, I wouldn't say a church, but building community with fellow believers is staying in your lane and doing your call and your purpose that allows everybody else to do theirs.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's sometimes it's hard, but I love what I do at the end of the day. And I don't see myself doing anything else. And I appreciate, everybody who supports, everybody who listens to the show. Make sure you visit my new website. Shout out to Alicia Jones. She built this amazing website for me, the official TonyD.com. All things Tony D musically on that website. So check it out. And purchase the music if you haven't already purchased it. You can follow me on my TikTok and Facebook, The Music of Tony D. But if you haven't purchased the music on Bandcamp, you can, as well as download it. I won't say stream it because streaming is not going to put any coins in my pocket.
Right, that's important.
Or $1.29, whatever, and buy the song and play it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Yes, you guys, please support. And I want to thank Level Up, the real Level Up Nation, for just showing up and do what they do to support us.
Yes,
and
thank you so much.
People who want to get the word out. So with that being said, you guys, this has been the real Level Up, where we showcase ordinary people with extraordinary talents and gifts, and we are grateful for it. So with that being said, I'm going to say peace out. It was a great show. Thank you for being here, Tony D.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate you.
And good afternoon, everyone. Good night.
barbecues, backyard parties. It's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.